Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Brenda's Musings. So today I want to talk about having your feelings hurt. So what kind of person are you? Are you the type of person who, when somebody says something and it hurts your feelings, you tell them? You're upfront, you just say, look, that wasn't cool, that hurt my feelings? Do you just sit with it for a while and mull it over and then, either tell the person or just get over it? Are you the type of person who lets it slide the first time, lets it slide the second time, the third time sort of says, look, buddy, that's not cool? How do you handle having your feelings hurt? I want to know, because sometimes people will say things and you know that they don't mean it in a certain way, but something happens and I don't know, it could be the frame of mind that you start with in the conversation. And so maybe you're feeling fractured already, or maybe you're feeling overly sensitive about something. It may not even have anything to do with that person or the conversation you're having. It could be something that happened to you 2 days ago. Or maybe, this is the sort of conversation you've had with this person over and over again. And you're just like, look, I'm done. I can't handle this anymore. Or maybe, this person teases you all the time and you are like, it was funny the first dozen times, but it's getting really old now. And it's just mean now. So think about some of those scenarios and think about where you fall in them. Sometimes you might be the injured party. Sometimes you might be the one who's injuring. And it just makes me stop and think, we need to be very clear in the words that we choose. We need to be very intentional about what it is that comes out of our mouth, because so often things can get misconstrued. And it's even worse when you're not talking to the person face to face because they don't have the body language, or it's worse again if it's like in a text or something, because then they don't even have the intonation. So even if you are teasing in a loving, playful way, they don't get it because that's not how it landed with them for whatever reason. I've always said that, I'm a firm believer of, you put things out there from your heart. You say things, like most people don't go around trying to intentionally hurt people. I mean, some people do, but hopefully they're not in your circle. And, and sometimes people say things in anger or frustration or that sort of thing. But I'm just talking about generally speaking. So assuming that what the person is saying to you is not meant to hurt you, does that make it easier? Does that mean you give them a pass? How do you handle it? I don't really have answers. I just have questions. But I have to admit that it does help when I know that, nothing was ever meant by whatever the hurt is. It was never intentional. I know that it does help that sometimes I recognize that it was my frame of mind that made it hurt. But I also recognize that sometimes we do each other an injustice by not bringing it to the other person's attention. Because it'll just keep happening. And if you just keep, not necessarily the exact same scenario, but, if you just keep swallowing it, then eventually that's going to, fill you up in a not great way. So clearing the air, just bring it to their attention so that they're aware, and then that you've said something to them that might then allow them to be more cognizant of what it is that's bothering you. I don't know. Just a thought. It's my musing for the day. Have a great one, everyone.